Hi everybody, this is Tony from ExamRevision Economics with a quick little video discussing some tips for the economics paper, which is on Friday the 25th of June at 9:30. So as most of you should be aware by now, the 2021 paper has been revised, so that means in section A you will answer 5 out of 10 short questions worth 75 marks. Within that, you will have an internal choice and 3 questions. So they are worth 15 marks each. And then in section B, which is your extended response questions or your longer answers, you must answer 3 out of 6 questions in that. So that's going to be 75 marks each. So in total, your exam will be marked out of 300 marks. So quite a good choice this year. So 5 out of 10 in your short answers in section A and 3 out of 6 in your long answers in section B. So the timing of the paper then is 2 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, so if you break that down into minutes, that's 150 minutes. So what I would suggest is spend about 8 minutes reading and choosing your questions carefully. Your section A short questions, you should spend about 33 minutes in total there. That gives you about 6.5 minutes per question. That mightn't seem like a lot, but they are quite short style answers. Section B then, your extended response, again giving you 33 minutes per question. Okay, that will leave you then with 10 minutes at the end to recap or read over your answers, or if you need to add to any of your answers at that stage. What I would suggest, as I have here, is stick to the time. Okay, if you don't finish the question, leave it and move on to the next question. Okay, so as I said, that 10 minutes at the end, you'll have a little bit of time there if you need to come back to it. So some general exam tips, alright, bring a highlighter with you, read the paper carefully, highlight the important keywords in each question before choosing, okay? Very important to choose the question based on all parts, okay? Your extended response questions will have A, B, C's, maybe even D's, okay? Make sure you can do all parts of the question or pick the question that you think you will do the best on all parts. Label each question carefully in your answer booklet. So for example, if you are doing question 1, part A, part 1, label it question 1, part A, part 1. Use a new page for each part. So again, part A on one page, part B on a new page, etc. And as I mentioned on the previous slide for timing, bring a watch, okay, preferably digital, with you into the exam hall for your correct timing, okay, just in case you have issues seeing the clock or anything like that. So to break down the paper then, section A, remember you've got 5 out of 10 questions, as I said, 6.5 minutes each. Clear and concise answers, very important, so no waffle. Keep it really, really clear and concise. You have a short space to write your answers in, so keep them neat and tidy. If you do need extra space, there is space at the end of the paper if required. Just make sure you label the question properly that you are writing at the end in that extra space. And our general rule, if you can, use C, S-E-E, state, explain, and an example if possible. Section B then, again, 3 out of 6 questions, remember that, so you've got 33 minutes each. These are longer answers. Again, use your state, explain, example, so roughly 5 marks per point. Okay, so if the marks are not available on the paper, as they haven't been on the sample paper, you will use roughly, if they're looking for 3 points in an answer, for example, that would be more than likely a 15-mark answer. When you're dealing with graphs, always use pencil and always label your graphs clearly. Lots of students forget to label your P and Q or your C and Q if you're talking about costs, and it's simple marks lost. So always remember to label your graphs clearly and correctly. And again, use extra space if needed at the end of the paper. Okay, but again, make sure to label that clearly if you're using that extra space. Finally then, just some topical areas for you guys to revise before the exam. So it's just going over key areas such as Brexit, COVID-19 pandemic, inflation, the increased savings in the economy, and most recently the newly released National Recovery Plan, which details how the government plans to deal with the economic impacts of COVID-19 pandemic. So that would be really, really useful, and something maybe you could get some help on how to answer some of those questions in the exam. So what the government are actually planning to do to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. Other than that then, make sure you're up to date, so check the CSO Central Statistics Office website, so cso.ie, for the most recent data on your key economic indicators such as unemployment, inflation, government debt, etc. So if you can use these stats to back up the information in your answers, that will really help you achieve the top marks in the exam. And finally, best of luck to everybody in the exam. Hope it goes well.